what is up? What's good? Welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast Wednesday edition alongside Stern Bets. I am the Prince of Picks. Drew's got the day off. But definitely going to be covering the sports landscape today. It's a little bit lighter of a landscape. We don't have the NBA. Of course, the Spurs and Thunder are going to be playing tomorrow night. Knicks are already in the final, so they're going to be waiting the winner of that. NHL is off tonight as well, with the Golden Knights sweeping the Avalanche. I'm sure we'll get into that here on a little bit. But we do have MLB today. We got a little bit of action in soccer. And then we got the WNBA as well. So a few sports here taking place. We'll be sure to cover our best bets, angles, and looks for that landscape. Before we do that, guys, if you guys can do us a quick favor, I know we ask you guys to do this every day. We haven't really had much action on it, but I would really appreciate it. We would here at OnlyBets, if you guys could just give us a 5-star rating. If you have time to write a review, that's great. But if you guys could just go on over, it literally takes less than 30 seconds. Head on over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whichever one that it is you prefer to use. All you got to do is find our podcast, search OnlyBets Podcast, give us a real quick 5-star rating. It literally takes less than 30 seconds of your time. If you guys can do that, we would really, really greatly appreciate that. That's the way that it helps with the algorithm and getting this show out to more listeners, so that we can build this community and win these tickets together. So with that being said, let me go ahead and pass it over to Mr. Stern Bets. Mr. Mosh, good morning. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's really hot and humid here in Philadelphia. I wouldn't say so hot, but it is warming up and it is very humid. I'm going to be very excited to see the temperature kind of moving up, and we're going to get nice warm weather. And if you couldn't tell by now, I grew up in Florida a lot. I like the warm weather. My wife thinks I'm nuts, but I'm very excited for it. I just wanted to point out yesterday, both of our home run props. So when I look at the Dodgers lineup for who hit home runs, you had Freeman, I had Teoscar Hernandez, right? The person after Hernandez hit a homer, and the person before and after Freeman hit home runs as well. So we were, oh gosh, so close.
Man, that sucks. So close.
But we hit the game right. We knew that he was going to give up home runs. Looking back at yesterday, the Yankees run line -1.5. I mean, I don't know if you can get more of a -1.5 than what they displayed last night. That was fun. Both LA and New York absolutely demolished. Both of them scored 15 runs. Now, I wish I had that in a parlay.
Yeah, shout out to you though. You were all over that one. You were pretty strong on the Yankees -1.5 there. So big shout out to you on that.
How did you do yesterday?
Yeah, so unfortunately, guys, did have another off day yesterday. We went 1-3 officially in the picks. We did hit our team total parlay, which those have been hitting pretty consistently in baseball. So Rangers, I'm sorry, no, I'm looking at today's picks.
Rangers. I have Rangers.
Oh, Rangers Yankees, right? Yeah, it was Rangers Yankees. Yeah, Rangers Yankees over 2.5. That hit. Like you said, we were really close to Freddie Freeman going yard, but unfortunately that didn't hit. Colorado Avalanche ended up getting swept, which nobody saw that coming. So we had them on a money line. Of course, that did not hit. Spurs and Thunder, that soared to the over. I thought that the rest would swallow their whistle and that would lead to an under with less free throws, but in any case, didn't happen. And then we just needed a goal from Zimbabwe. They weren't able to get it, so we missed on Nigeria, Zimbabwe, BTTS. But we'll see if we can pick it up. We still have the rest of this week, 3 more days, so we'll see if we can get a bounce back here before it's all said and done.
Well, that's kind of how these things average out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got today. Any particular sport you want to get to today, as we don't have Drew with us to get started on baseball? Obviously, I can just go for it if you want, but leaving it up to you. What do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, not a lot of sports today, so we might as well just start with baseball.
All right, sounds good. I'm excited about today. Now, I will note that I put my analysis and play together before Philly hit last night. I like what I saw even more. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with the Phillies, -1.5 plus 115. Now, this was before the first 5 lines were available. I really don't mind that at all if you want to parlay the first 5 money line with the full game money line. However you want to do it, Philly is the play today. Sooner or later, we're going to see this Phillies club get it together in back-to-back series, which we really haven't gotten so far. And I think it's coming. I see the bats coming together. All the underlying metrics seems to be pointing up, and they get Christopher Sanchez on their side. Definitely going to help things. He has now 4 shutout performances going in order 8 innings, 7 innings, 9 innings, and 8 innings, all without letting up a run. Sure, he's giving up a few hits here and there, but he knows how to handle it. Basics include a slightly high 44% barrel rate with an 44% hard hit rate, 8.3% barrel rate, which is a little bit high. 8.3% barrel rate's basically league average, but everything else is elite. He has a 33.3% whiff rate, 29% strikeout rate. He has the control with an under 5.5% walk rate. But his superpower is really his 58% ground ball rate. What else can I say about this man? He is the guy to back at the moment. And then he's going to be facing, I lost my place here, Walker Buehler. Not exactly the person that you want to be backing in a hopeful lower scoring environment, which the Padres tend to do as they rank bottom of the league in scoring runs, especially at home where they're actually worse. But Walker Buehler is basically guaranteed to give up at least 2 runs. He has given up 2 runs in all but 1 out of his 10 games this year so far. Interestingly, Buehler has the inflected opposite metrics of Sanchez. He has a really good barrel rate at 6.4%, to a league average, slightly high 39.7% hard hit rate, but everything else is basically below average and solid below average. 19.5% whiff rate, 20% strikeout rate, 9% walk rate. The expected metrics stats are really what stood out to me. And I'm sorry for going long on this. I just had a little bit of time last night and I really dove into it. The expected batting average, and this is the last point for me, the expected batting average of Buehler is 275, which is on the below average of pitching average and expected average in the league. Sanchez is 222, which is the other awesome side of that average. So I just really don't see I don't see the Padres really doing a lot in this game, and I think the Phillies bats come alive. Anyway, sorry for going way too long on that. Prince, how do you feel about this one?
No, I'm right with you there. I mean, that is some strong, consistent data. Of course, we love to see it. So, yeah, I think the trends are there and everything's there to support the play. So, I'm with you on it.
All right, where are you going, man?
Oh yeah, so for me, of course, we're gonna go back to our team total parlay here. We're doing our over 2.5 daily parlay is what it's turned into here. Taking the Rangers here. Give me the Rangers. I'm gonna fade the Astros again. I like the Rangers to get 3+ runs today. And then we're gonna parlay that with the White Sox. I like the White Sox here to get 3+ runs. The conditions are very favorable here in Chicago. We're expecting a 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing out. Looking like it's going to be about mid 70s here around the start of the game time here. So I think the White Sox are in a really good position here to get some runs up against the Twins. I'm here in Chicago right now. I'm in the suburbs, and I can tell you there is a nice consistent wind going on right now. And then we got wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour as well. So maybe one of those wind gusts can help propel some runs here. But I like the White Sox again tonight. Team total over 2.5, Rangers over 2.5. That comes in at -150.
Don't mind that at all. I definitely love the White Sox play. I have them on the money line. I have the over in that game, very much all over that side. Jacob deGrom should be able to hold Houston down. Hopefully, their bats come alive 2 days in a row. Not a team that I'm looking to consistently back all the time, but 3 runs against Mike Burrows sounds pretty doable, especially if their bullpen comes in early before the 5th or 6th inning. So that's definitely good luck. All right, I'm going to go to my second leg here now. This might be an ill-advised parlay. To be fair, you're not really supposed to do parlays as much as you can, if you can help it, at least from my perspective and what I've been able to be successful with. But I found the value here, and I really wanted to get some action on the Dodgers. I'm going to take the Dodgers -1.5 parlayed with the Guardians team total over 2.5. So you have like one of the first games of the day and one of the last games of the day, which is also something fun that I like to do personally. But like I said, might be ill-advised, but I like guessing who Prince is going to pick the next day for his team total parlay. And I thought the Guardians might be a really good team for that. They're facing Miles Mikolas, 12.3% barrel rate, 45.5% hard hit rate, 15% strikeout rate. Definitely not as worse as he used to be. Maybe. I think negative regression is coming from his end, and I think we're going to see it today. And then the other side, Dodgers, we got Ohtani on the mound. He's facing Sugano for Colorado. I mean, it's not really a comparison. Sugano has a 16.3% barrel rate, 46.5% hard hit rate, and a 12.5% strikeout rate. He's going up against the Dodgers, who just hit 15 last night. I don't like their chances today. Prince, what do you think about this parlay?
Yeah, so I was gonna pick the Cleveland Guardians here as a team total. The problem is they have a really early start time this afternoon, and for me personally, when I give my picks, I like to kind of extend the shelf life as long as possible, so that in case our podcast listeners on the replay, they can have a chance to get the play in. So that's the only reason I avoided it. I try to avoid the early games as much as possible, but I do love that a lot. I think the Guardians, obviously, we love fading Miles Mikolas. It's Miles Mikolas Day. That's a holiday here on OnlyBets. So for sure, love that play. And I think you're spot on.
All right, cool. Let's get to home run props of the day, unless you have any other games you want to go through.
Nope, but I do definitely have a home run prop. We're gonna go chalk here. The court is in session. Give me Aaron Judge to hit a home run tonight, this afternoon at plus 257, taking on the Royals. We're expecting a 9 or 10 mile per hour wind blowing right to left, low 80s. I think this is a great weather environment here for a player that has been mashing it against the Royals, who are currently, I believe, 20th in the league and giving up home runs. Of course, the Yankees first in home runs hit. So I will take the Judge, Aaron Judge, home run plus 257. I'll go chalk today.
I'm gonna go Ben Rice. I like the day. I like the ballpark. It's decent. I like picking on Ben Rice because he right now, at the very least, I'm not saying he's at the same level of Judge. Judge has done this consistently over a number of seasons and is possibly the greatest batter of our generation. Tani might be right there. Anyway, not getting into that debate right now, but Rice is absolutely on fire, and the plus 440 price or plus 475, depending on what book you have, I think that's just disrespectful for him. Give me Ben Rice. And if he's out, give me Paul Goldschmidt. All right.
Yep, love it.
Yep. What else we got? We're going to NBA or NHL?
I mean, we don't have any NBA tonight. I can recap what we saw yesterday. Of course, the Thunder taking a 3-2 series lead. By the way, what I will tell you guys, I'll give you guys a tidbit of information here. Statistically speaking, right, the home team in the Western Conference Finals, when the home team wins Game 5, they end up winning the series 85% of the time. So that might be an indictment here. Maybe you want to back the Thunder. It's probably going to be heavily. Just I haven't checked it, to be honest with you, since they won last night. So it's probably around minus 300, minus 350, I would guess, maybe even more. But I mean, considering the trends here, it is backed by 85% historical data. So maybe it's not something you want to look at here. I'm not sure if it ends in 6 or 7 games, but obviously the trends are supporting the Thunder to win this series. So take that for what it's worth. But I thought the Thunder clamped down last night. Alex Caruso, of course, played his role, did an excellent job, and they're going to rely on him, I think, throughout the duration of this series and even going into the finals. I think Alex Caruso is going to be a critical part of the Thunder and their role players here. Excited to see what happens tomorrow night. It could go either way. I think San Antonio, obviously at home, they're going to put up one hell of a fight, and you can't count out Wemby. Wemby had an off night last night. I don't expect him to have 2 off nights back to back. So I think everything to play for, of course, is going to be one hell of a game tomorrow night, in my opinion.
I can't wait. That was yeah. I was kind of surprised by the late run last night towards the fourth quarter, but then OKC completely shut them down. And by the way, T-Bex, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. We will 100% invite you to join our show in about 15 minutes when we get through all of our sports. We'll invite the public to come on. Just hang on, buddy. All right, Prince, NHL, or do you have WNBA? We've actually done really well. I've been looking at our stats and I've been filling in all of our stats from the beginning of the show. I wrote a script that backfills all of them, and I'm going through one by one and trying to fill them in as best as I can. We've done really well in the WNBA so far, Prince. So any plays for today? I know we have a 4 or 5 game slate.
Yeah, I do have a play tonight. We do have a 5 game slate, which is a pretty massive slate in the WNBA for them. 2 plays I'm landing on tonight for the W. I'm gonna go back to the Liberty. They burned me a couple times against Portland, but I'm going back to them. I'll take the Liberty on the money line, playing the Phoenix Mercury. Mercury coming to this one with the second worst record in the W. They're radically inconsistent, are the Mercury. So I will back the Liberty here in a bounce back spot at home in a game that they should take care of the Mercury. We're going to parlay that with Angel Reese 10 plus rebounds for the Dream taking on the Lynx. Angel Reese, of course, one of the best rebounders in the W. And I like her to get 10 plus rebounds. It's right around her average right now for this season. So give me the best, probably the best rebounder in the game right now. Angel Reese, 10 plus boards. Parlayed with the Liberty on the money line. Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. You're going to get that minus 120.
Yeah, thank you for betting this so that I didn't have to myself, because I feel much less comfortable making picks in the WNBA. I really wanted to pick on Liberty. We talked about it yesterday. This is going to be the litmus test to see if they're functional. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can't lose. They can't lose back to back to Portland and Phoenix. These are two of the worst teams in the W right now. So I know the Liberty are dealing with some injuries, but they have enough depth, especially at home, where they should definitely be able to take care. They should have taken care of Portland. I'm still pretty irritated about that. There's no way they can't. That would be disastrous if they lose to these two teams at home back to back.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch topics to the NHL. Last night we had a crazy, awesome, intense Avalanche versus Golden Knights. Golden Knights did pull it out. Sorry, Prince. I know that you were on the other side of that. That game was amazing. It was 1-0 basically the entire game, and then you get to the end of the third period. The Avalanche, the Golden Knights score another one, so it's 2-0, and then the Avalanche score with maybe like a minute and a half left to go to the game. And then it was just that minute and a half was the longest minute and a half for all these people's lives. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. But what do we got tonight? We have the Hurricanes, Canadians. Slight lean on the Hurricanes here, not an official play, but I think they're just a better team. The price is just so prohibitive. If you were going to pick a side, I would go with the 60-minute money line. What say you, Prince? What do you got? Any leans
Yeah,
or looks?
so to recap yesterday, right, last night, I think that entire series can be summed up in one phrase, and that would be from the great Houston Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich: never underestimate the heart of a champion. I think that's what happened. I think the Knights, with their championship experience, came through 4-0 sweep, shocked the world, beat arguably the best team in hockey. That was a heck of a finish last night. Golden Knights did go up 2-0. Avalanche scored a goal. It was a frenetic last couple minutes. He thought Avalanche might tie it up, but they ended up losing. So that's what happens. You know, that championship experience can go a long way, and I think that's kind of what prevailed last night. And interested to see how the Golden Knights do going forward tonight with the Hurricanes and Canadians. I don't have a play for tonight, to be honest with you. This series has been kind of topsy turvy. I know the Hurricanes are up 2-1 right now in the series. Canadians at home. I might lead more towards the Canadians being the home team in this one, but nothing official for me. So whatever you got is what I got.
So I will say, and again, I'm not playing anything officially, but if you were to say take Carolina plus 1.5 and the under 6.5, maybe 7.5, if you can get that at a playable line, I might do that. If I have a boost somewhere on one of these books, that's what I might do. But looking at these, these games, the last 5 for the Hurricanes have ended in 5 goals exactly. Only one has gone over on the Canadian side. 3 out of the last 5 games have gone 5 goals exactly, with only 2 games going over. So definitely lean over, definitely lean Carolina. Nothing for me officially, but I'm definitely interested in watching it because it's going to be a banger. Sorry, had to add that in. All right, Prince, bring us into soccer.
Yeah, so we got 2 plays today in soccer. Again, it is a little bit of a lighter slate. We have a lot of South American action, which is something that I personally don't have a lot of experience in, so I don't really dabble in that too much. But we got one major matchup today, and then we got an international friendly disguised as a tournament play. So the big game here is going to be the Conference League final, of course. Crystal Palace taking on Rayo Vallecano, 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff. I'm on both teams to score in this one, minus 105. I think I don't really trust either defense to keep a clean sheet. I do think both offenses should be good enough to get a goal in this one. So I'm going to just take both teams to score minus 105. I think it's a really good price here for a game that I'm expecting both teams to get on the board. So give me minus 105, Crystal Palace, Rayo Vallecano. Both teams to score. Moshe, I'll ask if you have any opinions on that. And I know Brad is going to request. I'm sure he's got some thoughts on that as well. So, Moshe, let me go to you first. What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely lean in that direction. No official place for me in terms of the model, but I definitely lean in that direction. The over 2.5 goals and both teams to score is something that I am looking at. And well, now I'm playing. Brad,
Awesome.
welcome in, buddy.
What's up, Moshe? How are you doing, brother?
We're doing fantastic. And every single time we have a question of the day that revolves around food, we're thinking about you.
Oh, the hungriest soccer bettor in the world.
Well done. Any thoughts on today's matchup?
Specifically, it's such a tough one because when you get to the final and it's not a two-leg tie, you can just get some real complacent football. You're going to have Crystal Palace, who's definitely going to be the better side. Yes, they are leaky, but they've been so much better than the competition that they're playing against, given how much of a differentiation in money that they have to bring in players. Like, they got a French national team striker, Mateta, leading the line, where Rayo Vallecano don't necessarily have that type of production throughout the lineup. They're going to be sitting in super deep, looking to hit Palace. So Vallecano is going to be looking to hit Palace on set pieces, on corners. They got a bunch of big bodies, some real studs in the defensive end, and they have this little bald white guy who runs the strings. His name is escaping me. Starts maybe a G, but he's a good player. He's going to be looking for through balls. I expect Palace to win 1-0, 2-0 type of event. Maybe Vallecano score, depends on how early Palace score and if they score more. If they score more, then you're going to have an overload. So it's just a game for me that I particularly like to stay away from. There's going to be a lot of concentration in money on these two teams, given that there's not as many fixtures throughout the world in the top flight. With that being said, I'm actually looking in Sweden's women's division, the Damallsvenskan, in a matchup between AIK taking on Haken, which, if anybody knows, Haken is a club who plays nice open football. It's also that way in the women. The women's team are incredibly dominant. They hit over 2.5 in 7 straight versus AIK. AIK comes in hitting over 2.5 in 12 of 15. Haken hit over 2.5. I can't even remember exactly, but they're a scoring team, scored 3 plus and 6 of 7 for AIK. So if we can get multiple goals from Hacken, we should be able to get more. They trend 3 and upwards of 80% of the matches. They hit 2 plus. So it just seems like a match that should have goals. So I like the 2.75. I sent it out to my crew this morning. I got that at minus 125 on Bet 365. Other than that, there's the Icelandic second division, which is the first division on your book, the 1DL. There's a lot of matches today, but the numbers are really in between, specifically in the matchups today. It's just a loaded league. You probably want to look for second half goals. The same thing can be said for this Estaliga, the second division of Estonia, coming up here in about 4 minutes. More of a second half goal scoring league in its entirety, but specifically with these two teams. They hit the second half goals when they hit the total goals. But Vimsy comes in not trending. However, Kalev is trending. And then what Prince mentioned about the Copas tonight runs true. It's not really my set or cup of tea per se, but we are just hitting the stages of the Copa where they start going for it. And in the Copa Sudamericana and the Copa Libertadores, there are teams that will push. So what I've done and what I did last night is I was watching these matches early, looking for those teams who were overloading, bunch of shots, nice and open, and then getting to what the 8th, 10th minute and dropping in on a first half goal. Found some success. It felt like that's how it was in the 5 p.m. slate. So I did that in the 7:30 slate. You'll have 2 slates tonight. You could probably look in that direction. Those are really a few of my thoughts today. And there's a lot the rest of the week, but we'll get to that.
Thank you so much. And just to clarify, it was the Women's Sweden League. Nope, not going to pronounce that one. AIK versus BK Hacken over 3 at 2.025.
Actually, the over 2.75 at minus 125. So 3 goals is a half cash, 4 goals is the full.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Sorry. Trying to put it in and trying to remember the names of the teams are never easy. If you get a chance, if you can send that to me so I can get it on our recap screen, I appreciate it, but no pressure. Also, just so you know, I've been inputting all your bets when you've come onto the show and I've been able to put them on the article. So yeah, we're going to have your stats very soon. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be favorable. I'm really excited to see what we're going to be able to come up with. And once we have all these stats and things in order, we will definitely share this to the public so that everyone can see as well. Any other thoughts, Brad? Or Prince, do you have any other games that you want to pick Brad's brain about?
Well, I do have another pick officially here for the show. I'll go ahead and get to it right now. So we do have another international friendly this afternoon. This is again, this is kind of like a made up tournament here taking place in London. They invited 4 teams to participate, international teams. So this is the other quote unquote semifinal. We have Jamaica taking on India, which again is a matchup I thought we'd never see. Really a fascinating matchup here between 2 teams that have different kind of soccer pedigrees, but I've seen a lot of India. Maybe I'm one of the few people outside of maybe Indian people in general, people who support India, who've watched a lot of India matches because I watch a lot of the Middle Eastern matches. Of course, I am of Middle Eastern descent, so I have a pretty close eye on the Asian region in terms of international football. So I've seen this India team a lot. They really, really struggle to score the ball. It is a struggle bus for them offensively. So I'm going to take their team total under 0.5 goals today. You're going to get that at minus 130, 135. I know they are playing a Jamaican side that does concede somewhat, but they're one of the better defensive teams in the Caribbean, are the Jamaican side. And so I can expect their defensive form to cause India a lot of problems offensively. I can't see India scoring here. So give me India, a team total under 0.5 goals, basically for them to get shut out. You're going to get that at minus 135.
Hey, real quick on this play, it actually went down to minus 117 over on DK. And if any of you guys know what DK represents, it's basically public money. So the fact that the public is going to bet that both teams to score or for India to score, it's a decent sign for me that I'm on the right side of it. When the books especially came out with the price at minus 140, minus 135 last night. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's, and then, you're going to see a little bit of rotated side. I did look at the lineups here. Jamaica is fielding somewhat of a rotated side here, a little bit of some youth players. India, I'm not, I mean, it doesn't really matter who they field, to be quite honest with you. This is just a fade on them offensively, just as an organization. They just don't have anybody who can score goals. So, yep, that's the play. I'm going to ride it under 0.5 goals. India's going to get shut out.
Also, my thoughts on Jamaica is they have a lot of issues within the unit. A lot of players that don't want to play for the team. They don't pay the players. A lot of people are owed money. Just the organization in general is not one of the best of the way that they treat the players. So you just need to know that when they don't treat players well, like if you were on a team who didn't treat you well, where is your effort level? Where is your mindset at? Those are all questions you should be asking about the Jamaican national team. And then my other last thought is to mention, because we're in the United States of America and we don't always talk about USA football, soccer, for those who are listening, and there's USL and there's multiple leagues underneath the MLS that most people don't actually know. It goes all the way down to the MLS Next Pro. There are 2 leagues tonight, the second division and the third division of the USA, which is the USL Championship, and then the USL League One. League One is the third division of USA football. There are matches tonight. One team specifically, I think it's Pele's old team, the Cosmos, I believe out of New York. They are an over team. They smash goals. Mostly they just concede, play nice open football. It's a 3.25. If that gets to a 2.75, that'd be a match that you guys would probably want to look at live.
Fantastic. I love this. I really do. I really wish that we had like an hour. First of all, I wish we were a media company. Second of all, I wish that we had an hour-long soccer show or football show from both you and Prince together every single day.
Well,
That would be fun.
if I could bounce back real quick on what Brad said about Jamaica, he's 100% right about that. Jamaica is one of the most dysfunctional international soccer organizations probably in the world right now. They do have just a lot of stuff going on within their organization, but this is India we're talking about. And the only thing that worries me about Jamaica is they did just play New Caledonia. They beat them 1-0 in a World Cup qualifier. The fact that they only got 1 goal against New Caledonia does give me a little bit of cause for concern. But again, I'm just completely fading this Indian offensive attack. I just don't think they have enough to get a goal here. I guess another way you might want to play it is if you want to take India on a +1, perhaps. Maybe they draw the game. Maybe Jamaica struggles to score as well. But I'm playing the side of India not to score. Despite the dysfunction within the Jamaican organization, I think India transcends that in terms of their low quality of offensive attack. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that.
One thought I had, what was my last? Yeah. The Bolivian Football League, Bolivian soccer, just soccer that is taking place inside of the country of Bolivia specifically. There's a lot of civil unrest, social unrest going on within the country. Last week, the Bolivian football top flight was postponed for a week and a half. And tonight, you're going to have Bolivar, who's playing at home in the Copa. So you just need to be careful of what might potentially take place. That's an altitude, so there's a possibility that things can be affected that way. But if you're looking at that match, just know there's civil unrest taking place. Maybe we might have riots. You might have storming of the field, flares. Who knows?
And Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, but politics aside, Bolivian teams typically do well when they play at home in like Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana. Am I correct with that?
You are. Bolivia is a high altitude country. And anytime you are playing at altitude on a regular basis, like if you're in Colorado and you're playing at altitude, you have a better chance to find success because you're just used to it. You don't get as tired. So late in the match, you'll see these goals take place in the Bolivian matches. They get tired legs. I mean, breathing in altitude for 90 minutes is exhausting. You only have a certain amount of subs. Yeah. But Bolivia always has a much greater chance to take goals and take points when they're at home. And you've seen that in all of the success that they've actually had. And it's not even the success that they've had away from home. It's almost all exclusively at home.
Yeah, 100%. Michael, thanks for joining us. What do you got for us?
So, hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, perfect. So, speaking with with Bolivia and playing Copa Libertadores, all their matches, if they had home matches, like let's say if like the Strongest was hosting or Blooming was hosting, all those games have been moved to neutral sites outside the country. So last match week, Always Ready was technically playing a home game, but they had their home game moved to Paraguay. So they're not playing any games in Bolivia whatsoever.
Okay, cool. All right, critical information. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that with us. And it actually has an impact on them losing their home field advantage, like we just talked about. That elevation is a big deal. So, Brad, any thoughts on that?
He's exactly right. I did look right before this. I'm staring at it right now. At least Thought Mob has them playing inside of Bolivia tonight in the Santa Cruz de la Sierra. So they're going to be in Bolivia tonight unless otherwise notified later on.
Got it. Okay, and then Moshe, any thoughts from you on anything that we just talked about?
No, not really. Altitude's a thing. I'm just gonna keep calling it. Buffalo Bills lost in overtime to Denver because of altitude. Well, I mean, sure, there was a few other reasons, but you can attribute a lot of it to altitude.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're not used to it, right? To get adjusted to those type of environments. When your body just isn't accustomed to it, it could definitely play a huge impact. So
Yeah. All right. Let's get to our question of the day and invite our audience to
hold
come up
on,
and
wait a second. What about the World Cup play of the day, and what about the story of the day?
100%. My bad.
All right, all right. So let's get into it, guys. We are going to do our World Cup play of the day as we are just 16 days out from the start of the World Cup. Our play of the day is going to come from a continental bet. So if you look in your books, it's going to be under continental betting. And what I landed on here, I'm going to take Colombia to be the top South American team at plus 600. We're looking at Colombia. First of all, this team is going to have home field advantage in terms of their crowd support in every single match that they play. Their first two matches are going to be in Mexico against, I believe, Uzbekistan and DR Congo, respectively. So obviously, that is going to be heavily Colombian fan base there in those two. And then the third game is in Miami, which, if you guys saw the FIFA World Cup, Club World Cup, Colombians I'm sorry, not the Club World Cup, the Copa America back in 2020, 4, I believe it was. Colombians just absolutely infiltrated Miami when the games were there. They're going to just have probably a 95 to 99% home field advantage in Miami. That place is going to be all Colombian jerseys in the stands. They're playing Portugal in that one. Portugal is not going to have hardly any kind of support. Pretty much any match that Colombia plays, they're going to have massive home field support on every single match. Colombians really turn out for their fan base and their support of their national team. So you're going to get Colombia with a massive home base support, and they have a lot of quality on this team. So I think getting them at plus 600. I'm a little bit out on Brazil. I don't think this is quite the same Brazil of years past. And then Argentina, I think they're getting a little bit long in the tooth. Personally, I don't think they should be as highly rated as maybe the books have them. So I'm expecting a little bit of regression from both Brazil and Argentina. You're looking at the rest of South America, not really much to talk about there. Uruguay, I don't really have any strong opinions on. Ecuador, great defensive team, doesn't really offer much offensively. And so I think Colombia has a great chance here to be the top South American team. And we're getting a great price here, plus 600 for a team that is basically playing their matches at Bogota Junior, right? The the capital of Colombia. Basically every single one of their matches is just going to be super pro-Colombian fan base. So give me Colombia, top South American team at plus 600. Moshe, any thoughts for you on that before I get into my story of the day?
Nope, no thoughts for me. I'd be more interested to hear Brad's thoughts. It also might be called, instead of regional betting, country betting, or what's it called? Continent betting. There's a lot of different names that different books could use to actually put out the play over there. If you scroll into DK and you scroll all the way down to the right, that's where I personally found it.
Yeah, it all depends. Brad, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Colombians got heart, and there's not a lot of teams really in the world who have a lot of camaraderie and a defined style within the unit, a very set style of play that they all know and they all fit into. The Colombians do really well. They can attack, they can defend. They really have a great facet all around, and they can give every single team that they play, no matter who it is, a good run. They can give an Argentina a good run all the way to a Spain. So with a team that you're looking to, as Prince said, to be the best team of all of them, that is definitely one to look at because the books are going to heavily rate Brazil. But for me personally, I don't find Brazil all that appealing. I think they're way overrated. It's just there's not camaraderie. They don't play a good style of football together. They have a lot of individuals, whereas Colombia have a team, like Prince said. So I like it.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Colombia did go on, I think it was like a 24-match unbeaten streak from 2022 to 2024, I believe. So this is a team that's very capable of going on long stretches in great form. So we'll see if they can do that again and kind of get back into that form. But yeah, I think Colombia is an excellent team and a team to be watched for here, specifically not just because of their talent, but also because, like I said, every single one of their matches is going to be home games for them. So I love that a lot. Anything else, Brad, that you got
Yeah.
for soccer that we should be looking at?
Yeah, my last piece of advice is if Colombia's playing, make sure you're watching. And if they pan to the fans, you'll probably find a lot of beautiful people.
Yes, 100%. You're spot on with that. Beautiful people in yellow jerseys. They're all going to be wearing yellow. The whole thing's going to be yellow, the whole stadium there. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into our World Cup story of the day, guys. Again, this is a new segment. We're going to be doing this every day until the World Cup starts. So we got a lot of interesting stories from World Cups past. This one, again, we're going back to 1930, the very first World Cup in Uruguay, titled "The Player Who Rose from the Dead." Romanian midfielder Alfred Ferraru fell severely ill with pneumonia on the steamship journey back to Europe after the World Cup. He was dropped off at a hospital in Genoa, Italy, while the rest of the team continued home. When the squad arrived in Bucharest without him, a rumor spread that Ferraru had died. His devastated mother believed the news and organized a formal wake. In a cinematic twist, Ferraru walked through his front door on the exact day of his own wake, causing his mother to faint on the spot. He fully recovered and later competed for Romania in both figure skating and bobsledding at the Olympics. So just imagine everyone thinking he's dead, his mom having to wake, and he walks in. His poor mother faints on the spot. That's such a wild story. I guess the news didn't travel fast back then. Crazy story from World Cup's previous motion. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's wild.
Such a wild story. All right, that's going to be a World Cup story of the day. I promise, guys. They get funnier and better as we go on. I'm giving out the weaker ones first. But there's so many crazy stories from World Cups. Gotta spread them out here so we can get good ones each day. All right, cool. Anything else that we want to talk about here, Mosh? Before we recap our plays and get out of here.
Just a question of the day.
Question of the day. Yes.
Your turn. Brad, any question of the day for us?
He might not be there. Brad, you there? No.
All right, Prince.
My bad. I
Jack-
got you in my headphones and
sorry.
I'm mowing the lawn, so I just dropped it. No questions for me. Sorry, just got you in my headphones.
No problem at all. All right, Prince, any questions before I randomly come up with something in my head?
Oh man, no, I wasn't prepared.
All right, what's a secondary hobby of yours? Obviously, you have sports betting. I'm assuming that's a hobby of yours. What's like a fun thing that you do on the side?
I'm a gamer. I do. I'm a gamer. I got Xbox. I like playing online Xbox Live. FIFA is my game that I play. I guess EAFC is what it's called now. I'm pretty big into that. Ultimate Team for EAFC. If you know, you know. It's pretty addictive. I kind of wish I didn't get into the Ultimate Team stuff because I didn't get into it until about a couple years ago. But ever since I've gotten into it, I've been pretty hooked on it. You can spend a lot of unnecessary money on it, which I try to avoid, but it is pretty fun collecting cards and getting different players and all that stuff. So that's definitely a hobby of mine. I like that. I play a little Call of Duty as well. So I would say, gaming, Xbox, stuff like that.
Hey, Mo,
Nice.
I want to hear your favorite sports memory as a sports player. Like, if you played baseball, what was like the highlight of your baseball career or soccer career? I'd just like to hear what you did and what was really great about it. And that way I can learn a little bit more about you.
I hit a 3-run home run on my birthday in Little League to make us, what was it? It wasn't like a championship or anything like that, but it was like the next level. That was fun. I remember that.
So I got two memories. I got one for basketball, one for soccer. So in basketball, in a league game, I played in used to play some different leagues growing up in basketball. I had 8 3-pointers in one game. Ended up with 30 points in the game, which was a career high for me. So that by far is my pinnacle for basketball. Then in soccer, I remember, I can't remember how old I was, but I was younger, maybe 13, 14 years old. And we were playing against one of the top teams in the state. I think it was a state cup tournament in here in Illinois. And our team we were okay, but we were nowhere near the elite. And so we were heavy underdogs in this one, I would say. If there were betting lines for it, we would have been probably up like a plus, 700, plus 800 on the money line, right? Just theoretically speaking. So anyway, this team was great. They had a lot of talent on the team. And I remember a cross coming in, diagonal cross forward, and it was me against the goalie, and I diving headed it into the goal, and I got absolutely clobbered by the goalkeeper right after I hit it. It was like a bang bang collision. My body went flying in the air. I was twisting, probably went about 5-6 yards maybe in the air, just completely airborne. But the ball went in the net. We ended up winning that game 1-0 based on that goal. So that was probably for me like something I'll never forget. It hurt like hell after the game. I was sore for probably the next 2 days because I just got absolutely clobbered by this big goalie. It was like a head-on collision, but by far for me, I would say one of my pinnacles on soccer. I'm sure I can think of more. I won a 3-on-3 championship in Florida. They used to have 3-on-3 tournaments. I don't know if they still have them anymore, but it used to be it was a local tournament. Then you would go to regional. Then you go to nationals. We went all the way to nationals, and we ended up winning the whole thing. That was held in, I believe, Disney World in Orlando, Disney Resort. So that was one of a pinnacle of my soccer career, I would say as well. I'm sure I could think of more, but off the top of my head, those are what come to mind.
I actually had another one come to mind too while you were talking. In high school, it was 11th grade, so I wasn't yet captain. I was still coming off the bench. We were playing our in-town rivals. We only played them, I think, once a year. It was like a big deal for both of our teams. We were both in the community, whatever. Our big man, who ended up playing Division II basketball, he got injured during the game. So I came off the bench and we were winning. We were winning by like 5 points or so. But when I came off the bench, towards the end of the game, maybe like 10 minutes left, 5-10 minutes left, we were able to win the game. And then I got championed out of there, and we had a full night of partying after that. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
How about
That's
you,
awesome.
Brad?
Yeah. What about you, Brad? He's mowing the lawn. Maybe he can't. He can't. He might not be able to hear us. Or he might not be able to stop.
He'll
All
get
right.
us in a second. All right, let's recap our best bets and get on out of here. By the way, finally finished
Can you hear me now?
backfilling.
Yeah,
all of
I can
our
hear you.
stats.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold
go.
on. Most 1 second, Most. Brad
Yeah.
back.
Sorry, I had to like take you out of my headphones, and it takes a second to like readjust. Anyway, best sports memory.
Oh, did we lose him? Can you hear him, Most?
No, I think we lost him.
I think we lost you, Brad.
Got to put those AirPods back in.
All right. Let's Most, go ahead and recap your plays. We'll give Brad a second here to see if he can reconnect. If you want to go ahead and recap your plays, and then
Yeah,
and then we'll
all
go
right.
from there.
Something that Michael, you have a comment, please?
I don't think so. I think he forgot to take that emoji down. It's been up for a while.
Oh, it looks
I'm
like
guessing.
it's still blinking.
Yeah, he's had it up for about 20 minutes. I think he forgot to take it down. Right,
Here
Michael?
it
Did
comes.
you have something to say? Oh.
Yeah, really just trying to mess everybody's flow and make sure everybody has a difficult time the latter half of it.
Thanks,
So.
Brad. Yeah, appreciate
Yeah, you're
it.
welcome. I'm here to
Great
provide.
contributions. Thanks so much.
Really.
It's like coming in, taking care of your nephews and nieces, giving them a bunch of sugar, and returning them right before bedtime. Thanks, buddy.
Exactly. Actually, that's a really good analogy. Okay, so for me, obviously the time with Nashville is exceptional, but I'd lean more toward my high school state championship. Oddly enough, we had a lot of club success, but specifically high school, my senior year, we went on to go 24-0-0, and we won. And we won state in overtime. Had an assist, and it was great. But we also finished number one nationally. So being a national champ senior year, I'd probably say it's probably my highlight.
And I have a question for you, Brad, just for the listeners out there to kind of get to know you a little bit better too. And I've always wondered this as well. I know you tried out. Did you try out for Nashville? How far did that actually go? Like, what was the peak that you got to? I know you played at was it Bradley University? Is that where you played in college?
I played at Memphis, but what you saw was us playing against Bradley University on Fox Soccer. That was an assist that I posted on my X account. You can go look, search it if you want, those who are listening. But at Brad Betts Footy. So I played at University of Memphis, and then I went on, and I left after a couple of years because I had a bad coach, and over 50% of the team was either cut or chose to leave. And it was really difficult to transfer back in the day with the NCAA issues, because you'd have to sit out a year, and then there was no real portal anyway. So after that, went on and had a job. And then they started Nashville SC. And Nashville, at the time, it was Nashville FC, Nashville Football Club. And, sorry, I'm walking around out of breath. With Nashville SC FC, they were the first supporter-owned, exclusively soccer club in the United States. And they had open tryouts for a team. There's a whole bunch of players. And I said, you know what? What the hell? Went out there, tried out, and made it. Shockingly enough, made it. So I was a semi-professional soccer player for a year. And after that, I didn't want to pursue it. It was really more about, like with like mindset, like proving to myself that I could still do it. Because I was like 25 years old. I'm past my prime, trying to get back into shape. And that type of shape, it's a young man's game. So you got to continue doing it. But that was my year. I played 1 year with Nashville FC. We got to the semis, and we lost to Chattanooga. I can't remember. It was Chattanooga. I don't know if it was the Red Wolves or if it was.
Yeah, Red Wolves, right? That's a USL team, no? Chattanooga Red Wolves, like USL 1 or 2 or
I
something?
believe it was. It might have been the step below them. I'm not exactly sure, but it was Chattanooga, and they only had one team at the time because this was, a decade ago. So, yeah, that's my highlight of my playing career outside of the national championship.
Casually
Awesome. That's
mentioning that you
awesome.
used to play for an MLS team.
Yeah. Hey, no big deal. Yeah, I
And
just tried out for the
he's
national and
going
I
to be
made
like,
it.
well, they weren't
So
at the
what?
level they were now, but you know what? It's still an MLS
Yeah, right.
team. Do not
Yeah.
retort with the fact that I don't care about that. You played for an MLS team.
100%. Yep, that's all we wanted to hear. What position did you play, Brad? Just curious about that too. What position did you
What
play?
was really funny is my entire career, I was a striker, winger, hybrid. I'd go back and forth in between. I played a year in defense and a year in midfield growing up because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go into positions that you don't or and are not normally comfortable in to grow as an individual. But I ended up settling with a striker winger position. I was really fast, good in the air, could control the ball, and I was really good at shielding. So that almost brought me into the central part of the field, able to draw in defenders, make plays for others. But on Nashville FC, it was weird. There was only a couple positions that I was playing, and it was mostly because we were weak at those positions, and I would be more of a fill-in role because I wasn't a starter. I wasn't at that level at that point in my life anymore. I was more of the Udonis Haslams of the group, right? I'm there to make sure everybody is playing right and doing the right thing, and I'll come off the bench if needed. I played a defensive midfield role and an outside. I got into the Chattanooga game. We were down 3-0. They scored 3 second half goals real quick, but I got in halfway through the second half and I played left back. So that was the first time in my entire life I played left defender.
Okay, so real quick, and we'll wrap it up. My question of the day for you then is: if you were to compare yourself to one professional footballer, like your style of play, obviously maybe not as good, of course, right? But if you were to like mimic your style of play or compare it to like one professional player, who would that be?
Oh God. That's a
Are you like a box? Are you like a box to box kind of guy? Are you
no.
more of a like a pure number nine? Are you what or I mean if that's a loaded question, you don't have to answer it, but just curious.
It's a real tough one because I don't really know of the specific striker because I was a really quick, pacey striker, but I used my body. So I would say I played a lot like Victor Gyökeres, but I had a lot of the Kavicha winger style of play in me. I just my touch was shit. Let's just be real. It was an awful touch and it let me down. And it was probably something that I was never able to overcome in my career because when the ball came into tight spaces, it took me a second to get the ball under control. Hence why I was such a good shielder. You learn to deal with your inefficiencies. And that led me to a striker type of role. And I was 6 foot, really good in the air, could score.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a pretty good analogy. I was thinking maybe like a Josie Altidore type of player, maybe who be good hold up play, maybe something like that.
That's a really good
Um,
comparison. I'd say
you know,
very much like Josie. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, good stuff there. Getting to know you a little bit better in your soccer history. Former MLS player Brad Betts joining the show. Mosh, any other thoughts here before we wrap it up?
No, I really got to pee. Let's go.
All right, man, go ahead. Recap your plays. I'll get us out of here.
All right, full unit, Phillies -1.5 plus 115. Half a unit, 2-leg parlay, Dodgers -1.5, parlay with the Guardians, team total over 2.5. Sprinkle that home run on Ben Rice plus 440.
All right, tonight, guys, in the W, I'm going to take the Liberty on the money line with Angel Reese, 10 plus rebounds, around -120. In baseball, give me the Rangers and the White Sox both. Team total over 2.5, around -150. I will take Aaron Judge, hit a home run at plus 257. Give me India, team total under 0.5 goals today at -135. And then your FIFA World Cup play today is going to be Colombia to be the top South American team at plus 600. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the Wednesday edition of the OnlyBets Sports Podcast for Stern Bets. I'm the Prince of Picks. Shout out to Brad Betts, of course, as always, for his contributions and jumping on, giving his thoughts and opinions. Michael Spellman as well. Thank you, sir, for your contributions. We'll be back again tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, live on X at OnlyBets Podcast. Appreciate you guys as always. We will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Let's cash out these tickets, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.